Swadika, good morning and a very warm welcome to Newsline. Thank you very much for joining us on NBT, NBT World, and also our listeners on Radio Thailand FM 88. It's Monday, June 22nd, 2015. My name is Cholapansa Narula. In today's Thailand Moves Forward, Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha has commended the Department of Industrial Promotion for its assistance for Thai SMEs, especially the effort to develop their knowledge and skills. Deputy Government Spokesperson Major General Sansern Kamnerd said the department's assistance praised by the Premier included training and business networking for SMEs. The Prime Minister was also impressed with the department's projects to encourage SMEs to continue their business and create innovation which set them apart from competitors. Major General Sansern added that General Prayut expressed concerns over micro SMEs who totaled more than 2 million people, but around 330,000 of them had access to capital within the banking system. It was more difficult for this group of SMEs to borrow from banks since they had no balance sheet accounts to apply for loans. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha has ordered local authorities and provincial disaster prevention and mitigation centers to be ready in responding to both the drought and floods happening in different parts of Thailand. According to the Deputy Government Spokesperson, Major General Sansern Kamnerd, he said natural disasters in the country are now more complex. While the central and north are under the effects of the drought, another part of Thailand, like Phetchabun province, is facing flooding, storms and runoff due to southwest monsoon. According to the spokesperson, officials should be able to adjust their operations to changing situation. In flooded areas, they must quickly divert water to gambling water detention zones and local reservoirs, adding that this would relieve the flooding impacts on local communities, whereas the diverted waters are reserved for agricultural and consuming purposes. General Prayut expressed his thanks to rainmaker teams flying from the south to conduct rainmaking operations in the central region and also the northern part of the country. He was quoted as saying that though rainmaking operations could not completely stop the water crisis, the water situation was on an improving trend. Since March the 1st this year, 2,728 rainmaking flights have been conducted and 92.1% of the flights were successful. Suvarnabhumi Airport has installed one more infrared thermoscan camera at Concourse F, raising the number of the device to 4. Meanwhile, Trat Airport has formed an emergency committee to tackle the MERS virus as well. Public Health Minister Dr. Ratchata Nawin, together with Tourism and Sports Minister Kopkan Watanawarangkoon, inspected Suvarnabhumi Airport during the weekend, the MERS surveillance scheme at Concourse E and F, which are now reserved for screening passengers from 7 countries in risk of the deadly virus outbreak. Authorities have also lowered the minimum temperature for intercepting MERS suspect from 37 degrees Celsius to 36.5 for greater efficiency of the inspection. The Tourism and Sports Minister said that despite one confirmed case in Thailand, no flight bookings have been cancelled. The case, she believed, would not have negative impacts on tourism. Suvarnabhumi Airport General Manager Sirod Duangrat said that the airport will get 3 new infrared thermal scanners on June 26, when the existing cameras' locations will be adjusted to cover more passengers. Meanwhile, the Trat Airport has formed an emergency committee on MERS and planned to conduct drills to prepare for communicable diseases transmitted on board an aircraft. Manager of the airport, Kalaya Jaisamrit, said the drills would be conducted to check the efficiency of the airport staff and equipment and prepare for communicable diseases. If a person with MERS-like symptoms arrive in the airport, he or she would be quarantined and taken to a hospital with the capacity to take care of MERS patients. The airport's preparations are expected to help relevant units act according to the process and be ready for the outbreak. The Association of the Thai Travel Agents, or ATTA, meanwhile has expressed confidence in the government's measures to control MERS outbreak in Thailand. A number of Thai tourists visiting South Korea, where the virus has proliferated, has slightly decreased. The president of the Association of Thai Travel Agents, Jaron Wangananont, said that more than 30% of Thai tourists had already cancelled trips to South Korea, but Thai tourism had not yet been affected by the disease. The president added that MERS impacts and its severity were lower than other epidemics. As for the ICAO's downgrading of safety standards of the Thai aviation, Mr. Jaron said aviation regulatory bodies from Europe would not use the measures which could severely affect the Thai aviation industry. He also suggested that Thailand should urgently tackle its aviation problems. The Bangkok Metropolitan Administration is launching a campaign on Voluntary Counselling and Testing Day, or VCT Day, for HIV 2015 at the Bangkok railway station, Hua Lamphong, hoping to encourage Bangkokians to get free HIV tests twice a year at any BMA health centres. Deputy Governor of Bangkok, Pusadi Tam Thai, who presided over the launching ceremony, said the BMA aims to raise public awareness of the need to get HIV inspections on a constant basis. Men who have sex with men, prostitutes and injecting drug users are the main target groups of the campaign, as they are in highest risk of HIV infection and transmission. According to Mrs. Pusadi, there are over 61,600 people infected with HIV/AIDS, but only 49,000 of them realize their infections and receive proper medical treatment. The rest of the victims do not know the infection, as they avoided HIV testing. Some of the tested persons ignore the testing results. This delays their opportunity to have good treatment, and these persons possibly become the virus transmitters. Members of the National Legislative Assembly are scheduled to meet before the end of the month to deliberate the impeachment of hundreds of former members of Parliament. NLA President Phonphet Vichit Cholachai has issued an invitation to all members of the legislature to a sitting on June 25th and 26th to discuss an urgent agenda. One area of the discussion is the deliberation of the draft Kalasin University Act, which has been vetted by the special committee tasked with the process. On June 26th, the NLA is scheduled to hold an open debate on the regulations and a request for a permit to open a new sugar plant or to relocate the existing one. The legislature will also review the operations of the Bank for Agriculture and agricultural cooperatives. Last on its agenda is the deliberation of an impeachment motion against 248 former MPs for their involvement in the illegal amendment of the previous constitution. The main intentions behind the original draft of the permanent charter will remain unaltered, although revisions will be made to the draft. This is according to the Constitution Drafting Committee, or CDC, spokesman, General Ratana Wanit. According to the spokesperson, the 30 extra days for CDC to work on the revisions to the draft charter, made possible by the stipulations within the interim constitution, will be used by the CDC in making sure that revisions are more carefully made. A time frame has already been established in which CDC members will take until Tuesday to go over the main contents of the revision. From Wednesday onwards, the CDC members will deliberate the revisions section by section. General Rat said the revisions were not being made solely based on proposals from the 8 NRC committees, but also based on the proposals of the Cabinet, the civic sector, political parties and other establishments. He noted, however, that the original agendas of the draft permanent constitution would remain intact. The Royal Thai Police have announced the success of a month-long international global wildlife enforcement operation, codenamed Cobra 3, in tackling transnational environmental crime, especially wildlife and forest crime, and involved taking action against crime syndicates engaged in poaching wildlife. The operation, coordinated by the Bangkok-based International Coordination Team, ICT, was carried out from the 4th till the 27th of May this year, with the participation of officers drawn from wildlife protection, customs, police, forestry, and other law enforcement and intergovernmental agencies from 62 countries all over the globe. Armed with information and intelligence on wildlife and forest crime at an international level, authorities assembled a multi-agency team to seek and capture the perpetrators at a national level.
The Operation Cobra 3 is very success because at this time we have about 300 arrests and we have more than 600 seizures. And this one is the best cooperation and coordination among 62 countries around the globe, and including the international organization as well.
The operation was conducted across source, transit and destination countries where gangs engaged in wildlife contraband encompassing Africa, Asia, America and Europe. In Thailand, it led to more than 300 arrests of suspects, including kingpins, and over 600 seizures of various wildlife contraband, including 12 metric tons of elephant ivory, 119 rhino horns, 10 metric tons of rosewood, and 344 black terrapin turtles, as well as firearms and ammunition. The Flowers, Ornamental Plants and Fish Festival at Klong Padung Krung Kasem Canal near the Government House has received enthusiastic response from the public, particularly during the Golden Minute and the Cactus Gardening Show, which have become daily highlights. The Golden Minute from 3 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., that's 30 minutes, offered buyers ornamental plants at big discounts like Pemphis Acidula bonsai, being sold at 100,000 baht from its normal price of 150,000 baht. An ornamental fish auction, which was held at an hour afterwards, also proved a great attraction every day. The event also featured a series of discussions on a wide range of topics such as Thai flowerhorn crossbreed fishes. One of the visitors at the festival said she was a plant lover and felt very satisfied with all aspects of the event, be it the location, easy access, reasonable prices, interesting activities, and definitely the quality of products sold there. During the 5th till the 20th of June, more than 83,400 visitors had attended the festival, generating around 21 million baht worth of income to traders. The event is still open to the public until 28th of June this year from 10 a.m. all the way till 7 p.m. Affected by annual drought happening in Thailand, the farmers are forced to invent and adopt the new rice growing technique to use less water as possible, including farmers. Well, we have farmers in China province, the main rice producing province in the central part of Thailand. We'll have a look at this upcoming report by Kun Suchani Rummuenporn.
Rice is the most important cash crop of Thailand. It is grown in every part of Thailand with diverse categories depending on climate and geography. In the central part of Thailand, more than 25% of the land devoted to agricultural fields, thanks to the low-lying basin terrain. The majority of farmers here grow white, non-glutinous rice. The province of Chai Nhat is the major rice planting area in central Thailand, but growing rice here is not easy, as the province is struck by an annual drought during the dry season, which has forced the struggling farmers to adopt rice growing technique using less water, while boosting productivity at the same time. Lampong Puwong, a local farmer of the province, tells us about the alternate wetting drying technique, a water-saving rice-growing method that his daughter learned from the internet.
We plunge a field water tube into the rice field to observe the water depth in the field. If the area outside the tube is dry, but there's still some in the tube, then there's no need to supply more water in the field. We leave it for 20 days after the rice seedlings are 1 month old. After a month, the field is dry, and the unwanted grass won't grow in the rice field.
This technique automatically forces the rice to grow more and absorb more nutrients itself. The ripe plants are withering. They will sprout to absorb more nutrients from the soil. The walls of its cells become stronger. At this stage, the immunity against plant disease and insects of the rice develops. Then, the water supply is released to flood the rice field. Once again, the alternate wetting drying technique reduces production costs by 40% and increases rice yields by about 1 ton per rai, or 0.40 acre. The technique reduces water use by 30 to 40%.
This technique makes the rice evergreen. Since 2012, we have been distributing knowledge to farmers, and there are hundreds of farmers coming to learn with us.
Though the method is not new, it is a good alternative for the growth of Thai agriculture to support and maintain Thailand's position as the #1 rice producer of the world. Sushani Rumanporn reporting from China.
Thanks to Kun Suchani for that report, and that ends today's edition of Thailand Moves Forward. But stay right here on Newsline, as when we come back from this short commercial break, we have international news for you. Stay with us.
Even if we don't see them, they are amongst us. And they're hungry. Slay your power-sucking monsters. Take their power away. Think when you plug.
To maintain a strong nation, Thailand is promoting 12 core values for the good of the people. The 6th core value, maintaining moral integrity, considerateness, generosity, and sharing.
Physical connectivity, institutional connectivity, and people-to-people connectivity. The power to turn this region into a strong community. Witness the interconnectivity between the 10 Southeast Asian countries in ASEAN Connect via these channels.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. Beginning with ASEAN and beyond, the province of Chainat and Thammasat University Language Institute are joining hands giving English lessons to the locals from June 21st till the 25th. The program is to prepare residents, civil servants and the private sector in the area for the advent of ASEAN Economic Community, or AEC. According to organizers, English is a universal language and widely used in the ASEAN region. Those who can use the language proficiently stand to gain tremendous advantages over those who cannot. Realizing the importance of the English language and the AEC, the province of Chainat and Thammasat University are holding a program for 60 selected individuals from the government and the private sector, as well as the public sectors from 8 districts of the province, to hone up on their language skills. The participants are expected to be able to communicate better in English after attending the program, while having a better understanding of the ASEAN cultural and the economic aspects, as well as the social backgrounds. Hundreds of people packed a sweltering Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Charleston on Sunday as it reopened to worshippers just days after a gunman identified by authorities as a 21-year-old white man shot dead 9 black church members. Inside the church, some wiped away tears and prayed as the organ played at the outset of the service. Outside the church, a large, mostly white crowd gathered to express solidarity with those inside. Armed police searched bags at the door of the church, home to the oldest African-American congregation in the southern United States, and officers stood at intervals inside the church, along the side of the nave and in the gallery. Those attending the service used hand fans to try to keep cool in the heat. This church massacre has again trained a spotlight on the pervasive and divisive issues of race relations and gun crime in the United States. Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras left for Brussels on Sunday evening to meet the heads of the European Commission, European Central Bank and International Monetary Fund, or IMF. A statement from the Prime Minister's office said that Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras would meet European Union Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker, Eurogroup President Jeroen Dijsselbloem, European Central Bank President Mario Draghi and IMF Chief Christine Lagarde before the summit aimed at reaching a deal over debt talks. Tsipras has made a new offer on a reforms package to foreign creditors, signalling 11th-hour concessions to break a deadlock that has pushed Greece to the brink of bankruptcy. It was not immediately clear how far the new proposal yielded to creditors' demands for additional spending cuts and tax hikes, but the offer was a ray of hope that a last-minute deal may yet be wrangled before Athens runs out of cash. In China, in a breathtaking moment, the CoDriver took charge of driving after the sudden death of the driver on a coach traveling on an expressway in northwest China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region on Wednesday, as the surveillance video shows how the CoDriver saved all passengers on board. The video footage showed that at 9:33 p.m., the driver was still driving and talking with the CoDriver. However, seconds later, the driver suddenly became out of breath and lost consciousness. The coach then drifted right to the emergency lane and was likely to slide off the road. Realizing the situation, the CoDriver at once took over the steering wheel. Saeeden said that the coach was traveling at a speed of 100 kilometers per hour, carrying 31 adult passengers, 6 children and 3 drivers. After arriving at the scene, police officers stopped a passing ambulance to check the driver, but only found that the driver had already died of myocardial infarction. The Lithuanian village Ramigala held a beauty contest with a difference on Saturday, the aim being to crown the most glamorous goat. Locals gathered on the outskirts of the village around 150 kilometers north of the capital, Vilnius, to watch the traditional goat beauty pageant held this year to commemorate the 645th anniversary of the village. Spectators enjoyed asking themselves which was the fairest goat of all. A total of 7 goats entered the beauty contest, but only one of them claimed the prestigious title of the most beautiful goat in Ramigala. Mars, a handsome dark goat, was crowned the winner of the event and made his owner very proud. The goat has been the symbol of Ramigala village ever since medieval times, and the creatures are still highly valued by locals. Interesting contest indeed. And that's it for today's edition of Newsline. Thank you very much for joining us. If you do have any suggestions, comments, please feel free to email them to us. The email address is newsline.nbt@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook by typing in NNT, and you'll find more about us. And our news website is thainews.prd.go.th/newseng. Today we say goodbye with thousands of people gathering at Stonehenge to mark this year's summer solstice. I'm Philip Ansana Rula. Thank you very much for joining us. Swadee ka.